इधर नौशीन पता चला क्या है? कोट है. So English में भी कोट है, Urdu में भी कोट है.
The style of this Urdu lesson hasn't changed much in 20 years.
चलो अब देखो ये क्या है? छतरी है. छतरी क्या चीज़ है? अम्ब्रेला. बारिश हो तो हम निकालते हैं.
Techniques are traditional, resources almost all homemade.
मेरा नाम असलम है. मैं ब्रैडफोर्ड में रहता हूँ. मेरी उम्र 12 साल है.
हाँ, शाबाश. We have to teach them how to read. When you teach them how to read, we have to be traditional, I think.
But with community languages growing hugely in popularity, Urdu is now the fourth most popular MFL choice. Some teachers want to modernise.
Il y a du vent. Il y a du brouillard. Très bien. Numéro 6. Mohammed. Il fait chaud.
Mohammed Umar recognises the value of traditional methods, but feels that Urdu teachers can and should introduce techniques now common in the teaching of other MFLs.
Vanessa is an advanced skills teacher at the school. She has been teaching here for several years, and everybody has been praising her styles of teaching. Now, I again want to be able to improve my own style of teaching, and I felt she is probably one of the better people to be observing. And I feel I learned quite a bit this morning that will help me improve my teaching.
I need you to have a look for a pattern, okay? There's 3 different groups of weather types. Try to see whether you can see a pattern. Alors, écoute et répète. Il fait chaud. Il fait chaud. Il fait chaud. Il fait chaud. Il fait chaud.
I mean, the topic we covered I don't think really mattered as such. It was the actual style of teaching, keeping everybody engaged, keeping the interest there, and more importantly, keeping the overall control. And I think that, again, would help me right the way through.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Il fait chaud en anglais? En anglais? It's hot, it's hot. The weather's really hot. Il fait chaud. Il fait froid. Il fait froid. Il fait froid. Il fait froid. Just to remember, froid, freezing. Okay? Il fait chaud. Il fait froid. Okay? Répète. Il fait chaud. Il fait chaud. Il fait froid. Il fait froid. Excellent.
In the past, I've also observed not just language teachers, but teachers of maths, science, religious studies, other subjects as well, to try and get an idea of them, purely to try and improve my own teaching.
I was teaching a lesson on the weather with a Year 8 class, and basically the whole point of him coming in to do a peer observation was to look at different strategies, looking how I start the lesson, for example, or the meeting and greeting at the door. Bonjour. Looking at the different activities and looking at the pace of the lesson too. Also how he could adapt the resources that Ad produced in his lesson. We talked about 3 patterns. Il fait, il y a, and il. Okay? Can you tell me a couple with il fait? Il fait chaud. Okay? What about with il y a? Il y a le soleil. What about with il? Il neige. Fantastic. He was also interested in looking at how the group worked and how he could put that into practice in his lesson. He's become more and more confident, and also we've worked together, for example, looking at a display in the classroom, which I think is absolutely vital to have. So he's modelled his display on the one that you can find in the French department, so being very visual, having lots of keywords on the wall and so on. And obviously his interest in technology is developing more and more, so he's using the interactive whiteboard a lot.
I think I gained quite a bit from the session this morning. Initially, the way a new topic was introduced, I thought it was fantastic.
You're going to make your own weather forecast. You're going to be working in twos. We say, tu écoutes?
And secondly, the tone of voice, changing it, I think that helped a lot as well. And then thirdly, something that I haven't done myself for quite a while now, choosing just the voice to repeat whatever is going on in the classroom.
5 sentences that you can, by all means, write on this. However, once you've done that, my friend Chloe, what do you think weather presenters do? They present the weather.
I think that again has brought back some of the ideas I had initially, but would have probably fallen to the back of my head now.
Okay.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Monsieur Umar.
Bonjour.
À Calais, il y a du vent. À Nice, il fait froid.
Thank you very much.
Overall, I think there was a lot of goodness that has come out of this. Certainly when I am going to go through that with Vanessa, I think that will help me try to in elaborating that slightly further.
Hi Mohammed, so you came to observe my lesson this morning.
I did.
Would you like to discuss what you saw, particular aspects of the lesson?
And the thing I liked probably the most from the lesson was the way you worked with the mini whiteboards and then getting them to come out and basically present the weather. I mean, the other
You
ideas...
seemed to enjoy that, didn't you?
Definitely, so did I. I think the other ideas I used at times in the past and they worked and they just fall into the back of my mind, but this is something that I would probably like to try myself as well.
The next bit we'll be talking about what we do in certain type of weather. So next lesson, though I will be reinforcing the weather, I will also be introducing hobbies and what we do if it rains or if it snows and so on. Again, this is a kind of activity that you could easily adapt to your language, changing the map of France obviously to a map of Pakistan and changing the text too. So all these resources are, I think really adaptable to your teaching.
Absolutely. Right, so we want to be able to understand how to say different types of weather in Urdu, okay? That is what we're going to be looking at this lesson. Now, before we move on to that, what you have in front of you is a worksheet that I'd like you to look at. Try to break up each word, okay? The first one is done for you. All you need to do is look at each word and write the letters separately, as in the example, okay? And then think about how you might say that word for the picture, okay? That should not take us more than 2 minutes, okay?
It's a bit strange, but it's quite nice to see a variety of materials being used and seeing that he's taken on board the advice that was given to him, so that's really good. And pupils are obviously doing well on task and stuff, so it's good.
हवा चल रही है हवा चल रही है शाबाश right, okay.
Department Head Isabel supports Mohammed's new ideas.
Hi Isabel.
How do you think the lesson went?
I think it was okay. I could have improved on certain things. I tried to print this in colour initially, but there was a problem with the colour printer, so I couldn't get everything printed early enough. But overall, I think the lesson was quite good.
When I do lesson observation, I can see that there is a difference in the teaching and learning. In the teaching, obviously, through the resources produced, but it has an effect on the learning of the children because they are more engaged, more motivating, because our pupils are very visual and kinesthetic. They like touching, they like moving around the classroom. So coming to the board and doing an interactive activity seems much more interesting than sitting down and having an input from the teacher from the front in a way.
I will be choosing some people to come out here and present the weather, okay? Firstly then, Nabil and Sania, could you come out then please? Okay? Right, तो कौन कहेगा कि मौसम कैसा है?
आज कराची में बिजली चमक रही है।
Okay, शाबाश और क्या दो और?
इस्लामाबाद में सर्दी है।
शाबाश okay और?
On the other hand, from the lesson I've also observed in a much more traditional way, the children have got the constant audio background. I mean, the two other colleagues constantly speak in Urdu to them. It's a full target language, a buffer. You go in the classroom and it's all in the target language from the time you come in till the time you come out.
धूप तो हम पहले देख चुके हैं, लेकिन इसमें कुछ और है. अगर बहुत धूप होती है तो क्या होता है?
Now, in the teaching of modern languages nowadays, yes, the teaching of the target language is encouraged as much as you can, but sometimes you've got to refer to the English because it's where problem of behavior might occur if you constantly talk in the target language.
If you finish, could you put your pens down then, please? So I know that you have finished.
I think a follow-up could be to take them in the ICT room to do a nice display work on it.
Yes, we could do that. That would be quite helpful.
They could have some more colours and write their own weather report on a certain day.
That's a very good idea. We could perhaps print off the coloured reports and then fill in the Urdu signs, perhaps by hand.
Where Mohammed hit something of a brick wall in his mission to modernise Urdu teaching is resources.
I felt there were limited resources available. For example, wanting to do a listening activity with a group of pupils, there weren't any listening tapes available. During my PGCE year, I had to spend quite a bit of time trying to produce those myself. Secondly, using resources of the internet, there was very little, if not hardly anything available at all. So again, if I wanted to bring in a bit of ICT, I felt I was having to do a lot of work, a lot of additional work myself.
And teachers who follow a more traditional method suffer in the same way.
When I started, there were no books available in the market. But now there are a few, but still you can't, they can't satisfy our needs. We can't get all curriculum needs from there. There are some topics, but we have to mold them, we have to produce our own. Like today you have seen my sheet, I have done it on the computer myself at home.
The answer for Mohammed has been to adapt resources used by teachers of other MFLs.
You need to guess what the word is in Urdu, but using the English letters, okay? Who'd like to have a go first? Put your hand up, please, if you'd like to guess the first letter. Sania. Achha. Let's see if there are any. No A, sorry, Sania. B. You think there might be a B? Yes, there is a B.
How do these new ideas go down with other teachers?
New approaches, I appreciate that, but to some extent. When the GCSE exams and A-levels come, A-level courses at that time, you need some traditional type of teaching as well. Some vocabulary, then we have to go through that, yeah. ICT, it's okay, the games and all that, that's the end part when you have to check upon the kids how much they have learned. So that is good, but we can't spend all lesson on that, the only 1 or 2 activities. I think we have to go side by side with ICT skills and some traditional teaching as well. We can't rely just on one.